Okay, 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 okay. Guess what? I almost went on with the lesson without unmuting myself. Otherwise, I would have gone all the way up to the end, talking to myself. Okay, so without wasting much of my precious time, not only mine, but also your precious time, I would like to just very quickly take you through what is expected of you in this exam paper. So 4.1.1, I think the question is cut off, but they wanted you to write these numbers in scientific notation. So usually what I would do in this instance is, let's say that was 23. It may be, maybe let's say it was 23. Let's do and say 23 and 1, 2. Okay, let me just space them so that it'll be easy to explain. And then let's say you had this many zeros. Yes. So how I would do it is such that I count to say we have how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I just count until that number where I leave only one number on the left hand side. I will therefore say this is 2, comma 3 times 10 to the exponent. How many times did I count? I counted 8 times. So if it is not a decimal, then you are having a positive exponent there. But this one, whereby it is 0 and then following by a comma there, then you are having, let's say 1, 2, 3, and then maybe you are having that 725 there. Then for this one, I would start counting from the comma and say 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will therefore end there with this one, so that I will write it as a number, comma, other numbers. And then instead of the zeros, you will therefore say by 10 to the exponent, how many did I said 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this one, if it was a decimal, you will therefore say to the negative of a number. Then you count it 4 times. So what I would like for you to do, try to punch all of that on your calculator and check if it will give you exactly that. And do the same and punch that on your calculator and check if it will give you exactly that. So definitely, this is how you would work it out in case if you were given this exam paper. Maybe, let me say, if you were given 314000000, yes, you can try do this one, and maybe another one as an example, you can just try to do let's say this one. Yes, the nice thing about this one of writing it in scientific notation is because as soon as you've done it, you can therefore punch it on a calculator and check or verify if it gives you that same thing. Okay, then it's fine. Moving on to 4.2, they want you to simplify. So simplifying, it already tells you that you are dealing with expressions and not equations because you do not have an equal sign. So 4.2.1, definitely you will always look at where you are having the bracket. So for this one, it definitely looks like it will be that outside 3 multiplying the exponent of 1 for x and also multiplying that exponent of 2. And then once you might be having something like this, to the 6 divided by x to the 3, and then y to the 4. It looks like that might be cancelling with that, and then the smaller exponent go to visit the bigger one. You definitely know how to work it out, where you end up having something like y to the 6 minus 4, and then you simplify it. Yes, with you doing that, they will just give you 3 marks. Not that much complicated. The same way we've been doing those problems which involve the laws of exponents. So here it looks like it's a bit of a long thing, but trust me when I say how you interpret this problem, you just need to have a look at it nicely and say, okay, I'm having this as a term, that is a term, that is a term. And normally, when you simplify, you might find that in this situation where you have more than one term in your numerator, the numerator is that one above and then the denominator is that one below. Can you not look for a common factor? Common factor would be that letter that appears in all the terms. And it looks like it is there, honorable member. The other easiest way of working it out, imagine if you try to move it nicely and say, okay, I am having, let me just use a different color there and say, I am having negative 12 there. Now, after having that negative 12, how many A's do you have? 2 of them. And then how many B's? 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And you can even jump onto that one. So I've got 8. Then how many A's? I've got 3 of them. And then the B's, I've got just 2 of them. Plus 6. Then I'm having 2 A's. Then I'm having 4 B's. Something of this nature, honorable member, just so that you do not get lost in taking out a common factor. Here, you can just write them as they are because you don't have a problem of trying to take them out. So that means you only take out something as a common factor if you have more than one term. Then you check if on the other term, do I have a common factor on the other term? Then if you do, hope you get my point on that one, honorable member, or the member who is honorable. So now you can say, okay, I'm going to take out, let's see, I'm going to take out that A. I'll also take out 1 there, take out 1 there. I'll also take out 1 there, and then 1 there. Okay, then when it comes to the B, I'll take out 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. I'll take out 1 there, 1 there, and then 1 there. Okay, in terms of the letters, it looks like I can only take those. But what about the numbers? Do I not have? What did I say? Do I not have a number that goes in there, there, and there? I think it is 2. 2 goes into 6, goes into 8, goes into that negative 12. Yes. So, what if I therefore take out 2? What else am I taking out? I'm taking the A's. How many A's? I'm taking 2 of them. So that means I took out 2 A's. And in terms of the B's, how many? I'm taking out 2 of them. Yes. Okay. Then it's fine. So what do I remain with? So in the first term, definitely it will be negative. What will that number be? It's going to be negative 6 because I have to say that times that it has to take me to negative 12. So what remains? I think it's going to be negative 6b because I've taken out 2 b's. Yes. And then here I will have positive 4. Remember you took out that. So otherwise it's like that 12. You are having negative 2 times 6. For that 8, it's like you are having that 2 times 4. And then for this 6, it's like you are having 2 times 3. So you take out the 2, take out the 2, take out the negative. Not the negative, but the 2 there. Okay, then it's fine. So the reason why you can't take negative 2 is because if you take out negative 2, if you have to reverse it, it's like you will multiply everything by negative and it will make these positives to be negative. That's why you only take out positive 2. So you are having 4 there. You took out the 2 A's, you took out the 2 B's, you remain with just A. Yes. And then here you took out the 2 A's, you took out the 2 B's, you remain with 2 B's. So that means you are having 3 there, and you are having B squared there. Yes, I'm just hoping that I'm doing it correctly. So might be making a mistake. In case if you notice it, then you will therefore be aware that it's not only you make mistake, but we also make some mistakes, but I don't think I've made any. So nicely, that cancels with that. That cancels with that, that cancels with that. Then it looks like you end up having negative 6b plus 4a plus 3b squared. Yeah, something of this nature. Honorable member, the member who is honorable. Unless if you have to go to that extent of still, for example, where you say, okay, I'm having that 3b squared, and then here I'm having that negative 6b, and then you are having positive 4a. Whereby, for example, you can still take out, let's say, b there as a common factor. You can still take out the 3, because here you will remain with just b, and then here you'll remain with that 2, the b has been taken out, and then plus 4a. I'm just giving you some things to think about to say, when it comes to simplification, it can go very far, honorable member, can go very far, whereby it will just depend. It could end there, or otherwise it can be extended up to there. But that one, that extension, it was just for me to say, even though you are having this on this side, you can still bring it closer to this one if you have to or need to work them out together. Okay, maybe let's have a look at this one in terms of what you might need to do here. Definitely, it is the one where you still need to simplify, but in this case, you are given that which has to be that by that, that by that. And again, that by that, that by that. So can you see? You end up having something like negative 2a squared. Remember, you have invisible 1 there. So that negative 2 multiplies that 1. A times a, it is that law of exponent which says when you multiply the same letters, you add their exponents, then it's a to the exponent of 2. That's why I'm having a to the 2 there. Then you still do the same with that times that. It ends up being negative, not negative, but positive, because it's negative times negative makes it a positive. And you are having 2AD. You write it as AD because those letters are not the same, so you can't add their exponents. So here, again, that times that, so you end up having positive 4. You can write it as AD and not as DA, because alphabetically, A comes first. So if you multiply different letters and you don't know how to write them, always write them in alphabetical order. And then when you say that same thing times that, gives you negative, definitely 6, and then you end up having something like d squared. Yes, whereby if you look at this nicely, you can see that I'm having 2AD plus 4AD. Then that means your final step will be something like negative 2a squared plus 6AD minus 6D squared. Yes, something of that nature, honorable member. So now, when looking at this one, you will therefore realize that you are still simplifying. But for this one, what they want you to do now, it's almost just like I was giving you to say, maybe 2 over x, that we plus it with maybe 3 over y. Remember, where you might need to just multiply those. Let's see. I'm just wondering if you say that times that, whereby gives you that 2 times 2, and then from there you cross multiply. Then you end up having 2 into 6a, that you plus it by 12b plus, then you cross multiply. So that means you end up having 2 4a plus 16b. Then from there, obviously your next step will be doing that by that, that by that, that by that, that by that. Trust me when I say you will still need to multiply these two. Then once that is done, look for the common factors. Maybe let's see you're having 12a plus, let's say you are having 24b plus, let's say you're having 8a plus, what will that be? Is it going to be 32? I'll just guess and say 32b there. The whole of that being divided by 4, because 4 times 2 times 2 is 4. So when I talk about the like terms, for example, you have 12a there, you have 8a there, 24 that, and then that there. Will it not be 20a? That and that, will it not be 56? Yeah, maybe something like 56b, where you divide it by 4. Can 4 not be taken out as a common factor then? Quickly verify. Where is that calculator? Let's see. And that. Oh, yes. It looks like. So it looks like 20 is the same as 4 times 5. Then you still have your A plus 56 is the same as 4 times 14 B over 4. So can you see? Then you can therefore take out the 4 as common factor there. I don't have space, that's why I'm doing that. Then you have 5A plus 14B over 4. And that cancels with that. It's like you are having 5A plus 14B. Something like this, honorable member. So you might need to just try to work it out and see if you can get that as your correct answer. Maybe very quickly, let me just, on this same lesson, try to do, let's see, this question number 5, where they want you to solve the following. Shouldn't be that much complicated, based on the fact that we did cover this type of problems, I think, in the introductory sessions, whereby, if you remember, I said you need to make sure that all the letters one side, all the numbers one side. So this and that, it looks like you can work it out. What is that minus that? Will it not be 1x? I think it's going to be 1x. Then you just take this to the other side. It becomes a positive 5 because it has to change the sign. It looks like with you doing that, you are done already, honorable member, and you get your full marks. Yes, because you've solved for the unknown, which is a letter. How did you know that you have to solve? Because you are having an equal sign, which means it is an equation. So here, again, you do the same. Why not take this to the other side so that you always deal decisively with the letters on one side? Here, you are having negative 10 minus that. Will this not be 2x, which will be equal to negative 12, whereby you can just divide both sides by that 2 so that it cancels. Then it looks like in the end, you end up having your x being equals to, is it negative 6? Something of that nature, honorable member, or the member who is honorable. Hope you get my point on that one. Okay, here's another one whereby you are having a fraction there. Remember what I said regarding the fractions? I said also force the other one on the other side to be a fraction where you just divide it by 1. Then if it's an equation, then you just cross multiply, meaning that multiplies with that with that. So you end up having that one, which is multiplying that 4x minus 1, and then that 3 multiplying that. Then you end up having that and that, because anything that you multiply by 1, it becomes that same thing. So it's like that by that by that. It just remains as it is because it's being multiplied by 1. And then definitely, I think now it should be done, because you take the 1 to the other side, it will add up with that 15 to make it 16. Then you remove all the touch of that. And then you end up having your x being equal. So what will that be? Is it going to be 4? I think it's going to be 4. And that is the end of it. Something of this nature, honorable member. So what I would encourage you to do, it is just to try and redo these same problems and see if you could get the same answers that I would arrive at as I was trying to attempt those questions. Okay, I think I'll leave it here and say until we meet.